time for the Michael Huddleston Show on HUDRadio.com.
I appreciate your input. 832-699-0110 is the number for the show. We can also be found on Facebook at www.facebook.com/mhudradio. Big day for American history. If you have been hiding under a rock, you have not heard, but the Supreme Court has given their ruling on the Affordable Health Care Act, and it is one that at least this broadcaster did not intend on happening. It was a 5-4 ruling, with Chief Justice John Roberts being the swing vote. They uphold every single part of the law. They ruled that the individual mandate could be upheld under the tax clause, not under the commerce clause. So what does this mean? This means that now the individual mandate is a tax. It is the largest tax increase ever imposed on the American populace, with taxes growing from $900 billion to $1.6 trillion. That is a lot, and that is a huge tax burden on the American economy and the American people. Another thing to note is that with the Supreme Court ruling, this kind of, in some ways, compares to the Texas car insurance laws, where here in Texas we are required to have insurance and pay a premium on our policies that cover uninsured motorists. It would work in the exact same way. The law states and would work out to be that if you do not have insurance, you have one of two ways of paying a penalty. In 2014, you'll either pay 1% of your income or $95 flat fee. In 2015, you pay 2% of your income or a $325 flat fee. In 2016, a 2.5% of your salary or a $600 flat fee, or $600 or more for a flat fee. So who are going to be the people that pay these fees? Who are the uninsured? Well, it's going to be your illegals, your indigents, and your unemployed. None of those people are going to have an income to pay a 2.5% fee, and none of them are probably going to have the money or be able to be found to be able to pay the fees. So where does all this come in? Well, I can guarantee you what's going to happen is the American people who have insurance are going to be the ones that pick up the tab on this. This is how it works as in comparison to the Texas car insurance laws. Like I said, in Texas we have to pay a premium on our policies that cover uninsured motorists. This means for those people who choose to break the law and not have insurance, we, the people who are following the law, have to pay a extra on our premium to cover those people. Same thing will work with this Affordable Health Care Act. Those who, A, do not have a job or are indigents or illegals who do not have the money to pay this fees to help pay for this law, that burden will now be placed on the people who are following the law through a separate tax, which is called the individual mandate. And this is just how these things work in Washington nowadays. Those people who work hard, have jobs that make something of their lives and try to be their own person are the ones that are being punished for those who are lazy, don't want to do anything, believe that their life ought to be handed to them by somebody else, and when they don't have their life handed to them by somebody else, they play the race card. Or they play the card that, I've hurt my leg and I can't work anymore because my toe is broken and I can't work for 8 months and the government needs to take care of me. Or I don't want to go to college because it costs too much, so I'm just going to sit here and wait for somebody else to give me what I deserve. Or they demand it for reputation or for reparation for something, which is even worse, which is a growing population in this country. This is why this law makes me so angry. I try to take this job one day at a time. When I'm done with the show, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. When I do show prep is when I really get into it and try to formulate my opinions. But this one goes beyond just doing a show, because this affects me personally, because I work hard and I've made my way through this world, and now I'm going to have to support somebody even more than what I already do, who chooses not to do anything with their life and who goes around and complains and moans because they're not being given everything that they want. Life is just not like that. You work hard for what you have. You work hard to make yourself a life that you can be proud of. You ought to be ashamed that you're on assistance from the government. There ought to be a sense of shame in that. Just like those boys in Florida who harassed that bus monitor, and now they are shamed by the whole country for what they did. The same thing ought to be placed on people who are not legitimately on aid. Those people who just take the food stamps and go through fraud and play with the system and get around things, they ought to be shamed because they're doing it. The Affordable Health Care Act is the biggest bunch of nanny this country has passed. Yes, there needed to be a health care reform. No, this was not the way to do it. For those of you who are playing at home, Elena Kagan, who was Obama's Solicitor General at the time that this law was written. Now, what is a Solicitor General? Well, a Solicitor General is appointed by the representative of the federal government of the United States, a.k.a. Obama, before the Supreme Court of the United States. The Solicitor General is the person who determines the legal position of the United States and what position we will take in the Supreme Court. Elena Kagan was the lady that did that when this whole law was being written, then was appointed by Obama to be on the Supreme Court. Some say that the Supreme Court was padded with Sonia Sotomayor and Kagan, and it sure seems like that because Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor didn't recuse themselves from this case. It's a whole mess, everybody. It's a whole mess. So some people are wondering what does the Commerce Clause do in this whole thing? The Commerce Clause gives the federal government the power to regulate commerce, not to mandate things. That's why the Supreme Court said, hey, if this was under the Commerce Clause, we weren't going to uphold it. But we're going to go ahead and place this under the Tax Clause, therefore we are going to uphold it. It's crazy, and there's a lot of things wrong. And I want to hear your thoughts, your comments. Call us at 832, almost at 817. 832-699-0110. Give us your thoughts, comments. If you have a thought or a comment and it's legitimate, we're going to play it on the air. That's just where we're at this point. And leave your comments on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/InMyHeadRadio. We have a lot more we're going to talk about. We're going to discuss this with a couple of people who are in the political field. Mark Shelton, he is the Texas representative from District 97, will be on with us later today, so be sure to check that out. He is also a doctor. That's his non-political job. He's a doctor up in North Texas, so we're going to talk to him about various different things regarding the Supreme Court's decision. We are also trying to bug U.S. Congressman Michael Burgess as well. Hopefully we can get him on the show to talk about these things as well. So we got a lot of things coming up, a lot of different opinions that will be expressed today on the show. So do not leave us out of your coverage carousel. We'll be posting things throughout the day, little tidbits on the Facebook page. And like I said, we'll have interviews uploaded as fast as we can get them to help us decide where we stand on this whole issue and what's next. So that's all the time we got for right now. Again, stay tuned to the website. We'll have more content.
Join us next time for more of the Michael Huddleston Show. Be sure and check out the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/InHUDRadio.